Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacaster. Me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, here of Strike Defender over the Fatherland. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Holotny Ferma. In the east, it's Jove, fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 9th Panzerdivision versus in the west, it's McBain, fighting for King Country, the Commonwealth. The 51st Infantry Division here with Advanced Emplacement Regiments. This is going to be rough. Triple sections here with Elite Armored, Scavenge and Special Operations for Jove with triple infantry as well. But Oberkommando as Advanced Emplacements is going to be quite a challenge with the British able to dig in a lot of emplacements fast. With both force and mortar emplacements being combined, it's going to be really difficult to deal with, since even artillery-wise, can risk being just drowned out by the sheer number of mortar emplacements the British player might then go for under the CoH2 say of both force. So we'll have to see how Jove decides to tackle this and what McBain otherwise does. Student Pioneers of the section, they're opening up with a sort of getting some damages. They quickly fall back into the house. Jove is so far striking aggressively at the Englishmen, which is, I think, definitely the right approach here. Doctrinally, I mean, Elite Armored might be an idea here with the Sturmtiger and the heat rounds. Scavenge, artillery, maybe? Bit of that. And that special operation, I think, is sort of the least solid doctrine versus that. Folks sending southwards here as Joe's Sturm Pioneer distraction was rather rebuffed here by McBain's bold British boys. Back here, nothing further going on there for McBain. Folks moving towards the centre. Third folks got on the way there for Jove and Germany. Sturm Pioneer is going to quickly need some reinforcement. We'll have to see what he does next. Will he hit southwards with them? Or will he try and hit northwards with them again, trying to strike into McBain's flanks and sides? Baker's on the way for McBain to help sort of stall and hold territory. I imagine that we'll be soon seeing a reasonably fast tech up and then Bofors upgrade before the section begins laying down the early Bofors. Sturm Pioneers are good to go. Grab the centre victory point with the full kind of dealer. McBain dispatching a single section southwards to do its job there for the Commonwealth. For King George. Vickers there almost down from McBain and the 51st Infantry. Got the northern point here. Joe the wing with 2 squads. And here in the centre, folks, there's the section. Both out in the open. Section will quickly move to light cover just to get its bonus here. Folks going to do following up here. I think if we double back for the heavy cover, we had a better chance here. But in this situation, the section will straight up beat the full Scunadies. Up north, section falling back. Here's Jove strikes. A small assault group there going in for it. Section down to just 2 men. In the centre, Fulton's falling back. In the south, moving out there for the Fatherland. We'll have to see what Jove goes for next. He might be keeping sort of a bit of a manpower tactical service to try to figure out what McBain is up to. Will he go for like maneuvres? Will he take up? Will he go for something else? There are options open there for Jove, but Jove at the same time understands if he picks the wrong option, he could quickly get himself a bit pasted. And we got here to take up for McBain. That means emplacements will likely be very soon to happen here. Question is just merely, there we go, the Bofors 40mm quick fire. Section there routed. Troops reinforcing. Vickers covering up here in the church as he moves to the carve point. Ooh, that would be really cheeky if he tried to set up Bofors on Jove's carve point. That would be incredibly ballsy. Jove, meanwhile, is heading for the northern fuel point here with a few depleted full Scunadies, leaving the Sturm Pioneers behind here to cover the retreat path, ensuring that if he gets up, and at least the Sturm Pioneers can buy time for the full Scunadies, whereas vice versa, the full Scunadies might be able to buy time for the Sturm Pioneers to retreat since they're so low on health. It's a bit of a risky maneuver, but at least tactically it does make some degree of sense here. Section setting out the one not fully reinforced a bit too quick here. Samples on the way, and we got Scavenge. We got Scavenge. Jove's gonna have to go up against Advanced Emplacements with Scavenge. Oh, it's not bad as I'd say special operations, but I think Jove might end up regretting that one just a bit. Truck out there though, we'll have to see what he goes from. In versus Advanced Emplacement, he will want Battle Group Headquarters, I think, because of the light artillery, so like Kennedy's that way provide some measure of dealing with it. Mechanized, when he goes for that, he's going to have to try and raid McBain's base consistently. He's going to have to stay at the very periphery of things and just try and look for every sneaky spot there to hit McBain on. We'll see what it ends up with, though, but oh, he's going for Battle Group Headquarters, so while he's not quite aware of what McBain is going for, I think he should at least not end up cursing himself too much over that choice. We'll have to see what ends up there. But Jaegers are moving forwards here for Jove and Germany. The 9th Panzerdivision striking out the section. Folks are there on cover on the carve point. He obviously doesn't want McBain, to dig in there and give Jove, well, additional headaches. So far, though, McBain, while he has gone for advanced emplacements, yet to set up any Jove's harassment in this regard, I think has helped a bit there, keeping McBain a bit further off guard and making him feel less confident just smacking up some emplacements, so that way smack Jove down. Wire off here to make it a bit harder for Jove to make any runs into the compartment. Nice work there. Also standard work there by McBain. Troops reinforcing. Battle group headquarters almost done. Forces remaining watch here. The machine gun might be a bit better long term. Grabbing the point here. Sandbags up. Very good. And there we go. First emplacement is the Buffaloes up here from McBain. A Swedish anti-aircraft gun. One of several weapon systems. The Swedish, so throughout the war, there's also a very light anti-tank gun which will service with the, I believe it was Romanians and Hungarians. There was also a few tanks that actually saw some degree of service, including the Landsverk 1 and Landsverk 2, where the Landsverk 2 was actually an anti-aircraft tank with the Buffaloes and actually kind of looked like the Austrian, but though many years before the Austrian became a thing. It was actually used by the Axis forces, the minor ones, with the Hungarians having a version that was actually called the Nimrod, which means Great Hunter. Fun fact. Though Bugs Bunny kind of ruined that one as he made fun of Elmwood Fudd. So most people assumed it meant idiot. But it actually means Great Hunter in Hungarian. Troops on watch here, so there you go. First Buffaloes up. Yeah, that was a bit of a longer one, but we got a bit of quad here between Jove and McBain. Clearing out here just in case. Not entirely sure what his work the crates might do. Good lord, the crates are coming right for us. Good lord, Terrence had too much gin again. Heading northwards, Landsverk on the way there. And at this point, Joe, though, might start having a suspicion that he is seeing advanced emplacements. We'll have to see, though. If that is the case, he's actually anticipating. Well, the light infantry gun will be helpful, and there you go. We got the mortar emplacement up here. McBain certainly becoming a somewhat popular strategy with the ones who do go for advanced emplacement. They'll pop up in Buffaloes, and then afterwards follow up with double mortar emplacements right beside each other, forming up. It's really difficult to deal with nuclears of just not fun. I would say, you know, I'd call it. Down here, folks remaining on watch. So what will Joe do next? I mean, this is quickly changing the pacing of the match, and he's essentially locking down the points to make it harder for Joe to push forward, because he can then quickly be hit with a lot of artillery from McBain's stuff. In the south bit of skirmishing here, Landsverk being held forward here for Jove and the 9th Panzer Division. And there you go, Buffaloes up on the Sturmpioneers, support him with the rounds, just hammering at the Sturmpioneers. Very much unfortunately caught in that spot, and there you go, have to retreat. Buffaloes being incredibly lethal. Mortar rounds, of course, also very much encouraging them to go elsewhere before they get annihilated. So I imagine that Joe will likely commit to a second light infantry gun, because one light infantry gun versus this is not going to necessarily cut it as much as he'd love to. Whereas two at least gives him a chance of doing damage reasonably fast enough to those things. But of course, has to be careful he's not too close to the mortar emplacement either. Of course, in this case, the barrage can quickly, hit the light infantry guns, so he needs to get out of there fast. As McBain is, of course, very keen on silencing Jove's artillery, and Jove has to lose that one in particular. McBain were to steal that, be really bad for Jove. Whoops, my apologies to the infantry in the moving in, at least preventing him from grabbing the light infantry gun, but it's going to be difficult for Joe, I think, to get it back. Focusing up here on the machine gun in the church, going to pop an incendiary grenade to flush out the bastards. Or not, at least just force not the fate of the assault rifles and the incendiary grenade section pushed back there as well. Can't pursue much further because of the Buffaloes, and there you go, second mortar emplacement up there from McBain. Second one up. Back here, troops doing nothing because they're busy elsewhere. Bit of a standoff here, and there you go, line to recruit here for Jove and the 9th Panzer Division. 51st Infantry, and their second 3-inch mortar emplacement is almost done. Focusing up most of the section in the north. And another trying away that's slightly going to be Schwer Panzer quarters here for Jove. And certainly if we can push up Panzers versus this, that'd be the best choice. Maybe a Yak Panzer to actually just engage at range would probably be one of the better ways when he's then backed up. But the line's going to deal with him because, well, the Buffaloes can't hit the Yak Panzer at max range. The Yak Panzer has a decent rate of fire, and that way sort of deal damage to them. And mortar emplacements obviously are going to do absolutely bugger all to it. Of course, we could also just go for Panzers and begin raiding McBain's base, though it is a bit tricky due to the British base being very sturdy, and also the way the base is built makes it actually difficult to, say, shoot over the different bits actually to shoot it down fast. But it is an option when dealing with the British SimCity. The universe answer to does God exist? In which case, of course, the answer is a resounding no. Anyway, troops are healing and forcing infantry half track out here for Jove. Tracking itself is going to set up to cover the cut-off point and the fuel point. Of course, a bit too far again. They're almost losing the Sturmpaniers to the Bofors, but the northern victory point is, shall I say, open, and that's probably going to be one of Jove's better sort of strategies at the moment. Just try and keep victory points on his advantage, try and force McBain out of his comfort zone here, because while it covers at least one victory point and some of the resources, it doesn't cover everything as easily, and that's probably, I would say, Jove's best bet for some, you know, buying time and ensuring that McBain can't just sit back too comfortably. So there you go. Northern victory point, of course, is going to receive an absolute hammering here from McBain's artillery, as all mortar tubes there are busy. We got the fort assembly up here just to make things miserable. Jaeger infantry, the rest of the section by the cut-off point. Wehrmacht Schlepper there schlepping about. Looks like he might have either sent it too far with a rally point, or there's something else going on with Joe, hard to say. Meanwhile, McBain has yet to take up, and this could certainly prove to be where Joe might gain a bit of edge there. The Vickers moving southwards, having abandoned the church, possibly due to the present course of artillery, and there you go. In negative color, there's the Jaegers line from the and there you go, getting a kill on the gunner. Victory points wise, we have 435, that's a 473. Truck setting up here for Joe, very slowly. Jaegers said trying to perhaps pursue, but perhaps deciding against it. Northern victory point secured, moving northwards here, further pressuring them McBain. And there you go, section routed. Oh, he might not actually be intending to set up the Shroud Puncher quarters. He's actually setting up around the victory point, of course. That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. That way, he's going to have to send forces off on a very awkward route. And of course, that way, Joe can sort of free up forces, because in these kinds of fight, there again, when your opponents are locking down resources, the victory point fight is probably a lot more important, actually. So there you go. Sam's on target out. The Fulton is in the north. Bit unfortunate there for Joe, but he's getting the southern victory point. The Shroud Puncher quarters, I imagine, will be going up anytime soon to cover the southern victory point. Still no take up there for McBain. Northern victory point being reclaimed. In for a half to those about to be assaulted by the sections. So it's moving back up north. Joe floating on a manpower. I'm guessing he's saving up for some orbital guidance, something with a bit more punch in terms of infantry fighting power. And there you go. Victory point secured. Shroud Puncher quarter setting up, though. Right, there you go. Basically one of the munitions, so you can set up to cover here, and also the path towards the fuel here and further south. Troops sending reinforcing. Light infantry guns going to bombard the section here behind heavy cover. So Shroud Puncher quarters going up. We'll have to see what Jove does next. I mean, this is a very tricky situation, because the orbital commanders in particular rather lack some serious ability to deal with the British who are dug in. At least in my experience, they can struggle more. So we'll have to see how he actually reacts to it. I mean, so far he's been handling it reasonably well, but McBain still, of course, has that massive cluster of weapons there, which Joe's going to have a very hard time just breaking apart. I mean, it's going to involve a lot of artillery, or again, a lot of long-range firepower as well, again, like Yak Panzers to deal with it. So far, though, McBain is not preparing for armor. He's not taken up himself either. He's got 9 to 10 guns, but there you go. Just as I say that, of course, he begins taking out. Good work there. Wiring off here, just to make it a bit harder for the opponent to creep up on the victory point. Lots of mortar firing down all over the place here from McBain's double mortar emplacements. Troops heading northwards. We've got trenches being dug in here. Vickers coming up as well. It's going to require more firepower there from Jove to break through. So far, by the way, noting no smoke screens here. I mean, that could also be in one way, helping at least partially deal with what McBain's got. Smoke screens that way negating the Bofors somewhat. Of course, he might be waiting to keep that trick up his sleeve before launching assault here. I mean, at which point he obviously doesn't want to leave his opponent. He knows how to use smoke. More wire there. Something open up on. Trench ready. Folks, I think, need to get out of that house before they get flattened by mortar fire. Joe is fighting here boldly versus McBain. You can go for the Yak Panzer now, but of course he might be planning a Panzer IV or a Panther. We'll have to see what it is Joe is planning. And there's also the option he could try and stall for the King Tiger, though I'm not entirely sure how good of an idea that is. And we got McBain firing artillery now, using the counter battery ability there, trying to silence Joe's artillery without having to exert much effort of himself. There we go. Entrenched Vickers machine gun. Double Jaegers out here for Joe, hitting a mine. 1.5 Jaegers. push for the curve point. Jaeger's moving northwards, engaging the section there, but they're caught in a bad spot. That's the section in like cover-ish. But of course, the mortars immediately begin hammering the area with just mortar rounds, ceaselessly bombarding without mercy, without rest. So Jove here could go for some orbals gun, could go for more Jaegers, he could go for another light infantry gun. I mean, he's got a lot of options with that manpower splitting about. I'm suspecting though he's setting up munitions here for the howitzer barrage, at which point he will likely try at some point launch an assault and then just flatten the hard point there that McBain has managed to establish.
We're losing a capture point.
Curve point there secured in the south section right over the Schwab Hunted quarters, proving its worth. Back here in McBain's base, nothing further happening. No hammers, no anvils, no tanks, no centaurs, no fireflies. Joe, though, at this stage, is looking like he might be aiming for the Panther here versus McBain. McBain is finally committing to a tanky gun. No, he was briefly committing to a 6-gun gun, but instead just go straight for the Firefly. Jaeger's heading northwards for that smoke grenade. Of course, we'll struggle a bit. There's the Vickers inside the trench.
Our capture point.
Putting a bit of a stop there to Jove's fresh plans, but the centre's getting the victory point here. But I imagine McBain is very intent on preventing Jove there from actually nabbing it. Defense of the southern victory point here by the Sturm Pioneers. Some of McBain's sabbers are quickly clear through their demolition charge. Foxes need to fall back soon, and up north halted in their tracks. Firefly's almost done there. Jove can go for the Panther now if he so wishes. Otherwise, he needs to go for that mechanized regiment soon as it up for the King Tiger. But I do think he needs to begin spending his resources a bit more. I'm obviously going to note that he can be a bit trigger on this map. But the situation as it is, of course, since I mean, these most got spare manpower with the double mortars and the buffers. I mean, they can usually just risk getting murdered anyways. But Firefly out there, Panthers on the way for Jove and the 9th Panzer to be short. Mortar firing down, troops are standing on watch. Panther halfway down there for Joe. Wire fixed up again. Like mending a pair of socks made out of barbed wire. Yeah, that's a terrible one. Anyways, Firefly there. Spotted here by the infrared half-track. Joe, of course, has a bit of an intelligence advantage that way. Mines being laid down. I think it's McBain to sort of try and cover down any approaches there from Jove. Panther almost done. There we go. Panzerkampfwagen 5 gefechtsbereit. He's going to go here for the Schwab Hunted quarters with the Firefly. Ooh, grenadiers are on the section. Doing a bit of damage there. Mines in the center victory point. McBain certainly is trying to pressure Jove here, obviously. Joe with 7, almost 800 manpower, definitely need to spend some of that soon, at least on something. Again, I can understand the whole reasoning not full, but still, even then, it just feels a bit wrong to be flooding that much manpower. Panther moving forward, going for the Firefly. Of course, there's a mine nearby, directed from the Firefly on the Panther's armor. Joe does not further push through. In this case, of course, a very good idea, since if he had, he'd run into the mine, in which case he'd been at the mercies of the Firefly. Quickly push back here by McBain's Firefly there, which is quickly doing a ton of damage to the Panther, putting down to less than half health in just a matter of shots. Joe remains in the defense. We got 352 versus 451. Up north, the Jaegers pursuing and routing the section. Panther's going to need repairs, and he could consider moving out the light infantry gun to begin smoking the trench here. That way he can just rush up and well, secure the trench and grab the victory point, denying it to McBain, and my apologies there for the hiccup. Fulton's on watch in the south. And there we go, he does in fact pop smoke into using the line infantry gun, as predicted. And there you go, grenades into the trench. Though in this case McBain is able to escape the trench before they are filled with grenades. In this case, he's trying to silence the line infantry gun with his mortars. Nice work there. But an absolute hard point here from McBain versus Joe. Again, very difficult to deal with him. He's done some damage to the fort assembly, and that's about it. He's rushing for the trench. Good move there. Noting McBain has no grenades. He's got the Firefly moving up. Let's not hope that's the entrenched section or entrenched Jaegers. Big is going to lose out to that one. The section is going to lose out to the other Jaeger sport nearby. We got another trial for Joe, so that's going to be the mechanized regiment. Could be he's going here for the Stukas the first, which is not amazing versus emplacement. Of course, it could be a setup for the King Tiger. We'll have to see what it ends up with. Jaegers, they look like they will escape. There was a close one there for Jove and Germany. Back here, troops are ready to go. Launching on there, close to Veterans 1. They got the Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper sitting out, and that will be for the mechanized regiment. Path remains here a bit on reserve. There is a Northwards backing up the infantry as they trying to hold off McBain's forces from the northern victory point. Firefly moving in. Panther shoots, misses. Jaeger steam at the cannon as well. Firefly turns its gun and shoots at the Panther, penetrating the front armor with ease. Panther returns the favor to the Firefly. And there we go, we've got the howitzer barrage ready. If you save up by enough munitions, you can actually find even more impressive barrage. In fact, it used to be pretty easy, then they nerfed the ability because it just turned out a lot of players just quickly save up for the ability and then just spam just these huge barrages. I mean, you can still make some huge ones, but it requires a lot more munitions being put together. Jove here floating 1,000 manpower again. I can understand why. I mean, the sort of time of fighting here is much slower in pacing. There's less, shall we say, constant bleeding going on because Joe's obviously not going to bash his head into a wall here trying to deal with McBain. But I still feel like he'll be doing a bit more with it at least. So we'll have to see what happens next here. Troops in reinforcing. There you go. Mechanized regiment up for Jove. Again, I'm guessing a Stukas first, but it could be a move for the King Tiger. Panther need repairs. More Sturmpanies putting that away. Assist Jove. Firefly being fixed up. And we got here Animal Tax on the way there for McBain. Very popular after they buffed the Churchill tanks. So it's very difficult for German armour to deal with. Syndicate soak up so much damage and still reasonably bouncing out of shots.
The enemy are attacking an emplacement. Ready for action.
Mechanized regiment almost done. Fuel catch up to McBain. That's going to be some nice long-term stuff. He's trying to take out the Ford Assembly here, in which case he can remove his ability to be able to repair stuff for free nearby, which is a really good idea there for Jove. So far, Jove is just buying time by just hitting the victory points until he needs to build up a sufficient force to allow him to somehow deal with this, I imagine. Mechanized regiment done. You can go for the Stukas first now. Then again, I'm not super convinced it's going to be wildly effective, but it can be used. The other option, of course, again, would be he's planning for a King Tiger. But let's see where it goes for soon enough. And of course, he still has all that munitions here for the howitzer barrage. I can't quite remember how much munitions you need to get the next stage of it. I think it's a rather high number. I think somewhere in the 400 range. Got the northern victory point again. McBain here again playing very successfully, very defensively. Panther sneaking out there trying to take some hits. And we got the Stukas with Joe. He's going to use the rockets to do that. We try and saturate McBain with death and force him into submission. Lots of munitions though. We're looking at 423 there for Jove. So he's not going to be far off there from just popping a heavy howitzer barrage. So that way maybe trying to just destroy it. Typically combined with a good attack and the Stukas of first. Who knows, he might just be able to deal with the emplacements. In which case he might try and first bait out the brace, and then once this sort of, just wearing it off, he then calls in the full-on howitzer barrage. In fact, that could very well be Jove's plan here. Booby traps on the northern victory point, or northern point, they're very good. Cancel the Stukas was there, having gone for it for some time. Now it's back to it. Seems to indicate Jove here might be a bit unsure what he wants to do. Still, Jove's maintaining a victory point lead. He's sneaking about in the south. McBain obviously remains in the defense. He has to protect this, and obviously if he makes one big mistake, Jove could somehow try and destroy it, and that's again likely what Jove is ready for. McBain to somehow make that mistake, or for Jove to reach out to the reasonably critical mass and then actually just attack it. Troops in the south are getting hammered on the mortars. Stukas was almost done. Churchill tank there slowly approaching here from McBain and the 51st Infantry Division. troops right in the south here. But they keep harassing, they keep cutting off territory. Panther moving ahead again here. Direct into the 6 Paragon, need to be carefully. And there you go, hits a minor mistake there, but there goes calling in the artillery here on the entire emplacement setup. No brace though. Oh, there you go. We got one brace down, second brace down. Gonna feel like you should try baiting out the brace first and then call it in, but that's just me. As you might notice, the artillery is doing a lot less. But I'm guessing he might also try and, by the time to get his Panther out of there. Mechanized ready and repair pioneers ready. Strickers for alt ready here for Jove. In the south, we got folks there as the sappers. And we got the Churchill tank out there from McBain. That's going to cause a bit of consternation there for Jove. And the 9th Panzer to be short.
Causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Line for gun there, firing away. Close veterans to 2. We got the Ford assembly, I guess.
Emplacement under attack.
Well, he fired the Strickers first at it. Line for gun finally goes down. Bit of a blow there to Jove. And there goes Strickers was firing. Ford assembly going up, number 2. There you go. Anti-tank gun down. Some good damage to the emplacements actually. So I guess not too bad there for Jove. Armoured attack moving from the north here. Jaegers on watch, hiding out there. Nice work there by Jove. By Kidnap on the way, the line gun just left behind. Guessing he's decided not to bother with that one anymore. Looks like McBain's not bothering with it either. He's just running around it. Spotted around the north here. Jaeger ambush on the section, quickly dropping Paul Lawrence and sending the rest scurrying away. Ford assembly up there. Still needs to be upgraded again. A Kidnap almost down there for Joe. Partly suspect he might be using it just as much to sort of creep ahead and sort of scud up position for the artillery damage.
Capture point. They're trying to take it.
Got beginning to repair the emplacements. Undoing Jove's hard work. Panther going for the Firefly, landing a nice hit, catching off guard. Very good work there, team. Good combat blitz, increased the rate of fire for a bit there. Nice hit there. Firefly down to half health. Churchill. Stubbs was almost good to go again here for Jove. Germany. Okay, we have to back up the Panther in the centre. Map sneaking up the victory point there. Placements are slowly being fixed up. Going to undo it, I think, a lot of Jove's damage and a lot of his work, but we have to see if there's some bigger plan here from Jove behind that. Panther going to gain the Churchill. The Kevin shoots. Panther has already taken heavy damage here from the Churchill and the Firefly. Another line gun for Jove. I'm not saying another Stubbs and Fuss here, considering he's gone for one. You'd almost think he'd just go for another, but he might be that Jove now wants to stay up for the King Tiger just in case, which is a possibility. Like Kenway gets cleared out already swiftly by McBain's artillery. We got 17 and 8 kills on them. Stuggers was good to fire. Line for gun moving up. Firefly listening into mix in the Panther. Panther returns to favour. Gains 52 bar weight. Steel punish move up. There you go. Stuggers firing again like Kenway from up. Good hit on the Churchill. And there we go, another rocket barrage. This time they managed to brace in time, except for the Bofors. I'm about to lose the Panther. Kevin almost gets the Churchill. Of course, this is an hour where he might then sort of try and creep up and then call in the Howard barrage, in which case he could do, I think, do much more damage once the braces are worn off. At the same time as all this is happening, though, McBain launches a counterattack on the core front, catching Jove off guard. Nice play by McBain, finally getting a bit more active. Infantry opening up here, double Jaegers plus the Fulton these. Kidnap retreating from the north. McMahon seems to be slowly getting control of Joey on the battlefield, which is going to be a bit of a problem there for Joe. Panther seeing repairs, very good. He should definitely prioritize getting that one back as fast as possible on the field. There you go, self repairs up on the advanced assembly repairs upgrade done there. Meaning now increasingly faster, whatever damage general was done here is going to be undone. And his Stugas for his, by the way, also went down at some point. Probably went down to when he wasn't paying attention. Last week they've caused by McBain. Quite the loss for Jove, who I think at this stage is actually just saving up for the King Tiger now. We got 305 to 369. Jove's able to beat up McBain somewhat. Again, his strategy, while slow and in some case ponderous, is slowly sort of working against McBain, though it's obviously not without risks and everything could easily go wrong. Jaeger's moving up for the centre, straight into the machine guns. There we go, calling in artillery again. And once more noting again, once the braces have, recharged, meaning the barrage ends up doing very little. Which I always find a bit of a shame here, but oh well. Might get the advanced assembly again, but a bit more than a savage barrage this time around. One mortar placement could perhaps go down there with a bit of prodding from the light infantry guns. Maybe. Panther sneaking southwards. He's slowly approaching the King Tiger, the Königstiger. The means for which to destroy the Allies once and for all. One hopes.
Extra firepower is now available for units.
And we got weapon racks unlocked from McBain. Rather late for that, but better late than never. And we got sections that equipped with Bren guns. They use, of course, the Ford assembly to quickly equip them. Bit of quad here.
An emplacement is being attacked.
And there you go, line gun going in. Might try and take out the mortar emplacement here, the one that is most damage. Or he might be trying to take out the Ford assembly again. Ooh, decent hit here, but I feel like he's not going to be able to finish off the mortar emplacement, sadly. Troops saying northwards, a sneaky move here. Calling artillery again. Right next to the section as the repair. Can he call in the brace in time? And there you go. Popping in again. There we go. Bit of damage. Most of the shots are missing the mark quite aggressively. There you go, direct hit. But even again, doing very little damage. He was almost able to take out the Ford assembly up north. We've got Jaegers versus the sections, who are quickly dropping in the face of the marksman available there to Jove. There we go. King Tiger, the Tiger 2, the Tiger B. Mortar emplacements hammering away, going for the centre victory point, into the Vickers machine gun. Veteran C2. Not too shabby work there, McBain. Not too shabby work. King Tiger they're rolling out. What will Jove do with it? I mean, McBain's got one 6-pounder gun, one Firefly trying to stop the King Tiger, so he backs it up with a Panther and maybe some more fresh artillery. I think Jove had a really good chance to do some heavy damage to McBain. But of course, obviously, he does that. Panther there seems to be moving out. John Pons went up with March, was very good. 6-pounder gun there, kept it flat and cleared out. King Tiger going for the sending gate in the trench head on. Panther moving up as well, straight hit from the Firefly there on it. Buffers up in the King Tiger shots bouncing. Strion Pines probably should keep up pace to cover the flank. That's really called in as well here. One mortar emplacement down, very good work there by Jove. He's slowly disassembling McBain's Sim City here. Another artillery barrage here is going to cause quite some grief there if he's not careful. Strion Pines not backing up the Panther and dealing with the 6-pounder gun. Bit of a mistake there, I think, by Jove until the father was raining down. Advanced emplacement number 2 down. Jove's armour quickly backs off, though, having done its part, it seemed, at least for now. He got 3 members to turn 97, so Jove is now gaining the big 2-point lead over McBain now. Nice work. King Tiger there being fixed up. Panther's going to need some fixing as well. It looks like McBain's had enough. He's on the warpath now. He seems to think southwards here, possibly to the King Tiger, or possibly to try and take out the Shroud Planted Quarters. Possibly a bit of both. There you go, he's going for it though. Panther opens up the Churchill tank. He's going to need the King Tiger to support by providing more firepower. Section almost taken out here, but the Fog's going to need and everything else. Bren gun Pierre dropped actually, not Bren. Shroud Planted Quarters down to half health. King Tiger moving head section. Savage trying to get away here. Crab Panther quarters. I think it's going to go down here in the name of Germany. Sap's almost being blasted by the King Tiger to bits. Churchill going out here going for the Panther. Crab Panther quarters is lost. And there you go. Sap's about to get wiped out here. Things are getting very aggressive, very heated up now as McBain's emplacements are crumbling away. And Joe's forward trucks are also vanishing. Firefly there, note by the way, ace level is pursuing here now, going for the King Tiger with the damaged engine. Panther is pulling back as well there. Push for the centre victory point. Mortar emplacement remains, but he's very low on health. Almost got it here with the light machine gun. Almost. I think McBain is too caught up with everything that's going to actually help protect it. And there you go. Churchill rolls back undercover the Firefly there for McBain and the 51st Infantry. Counter to the fire there on the light infantry gun. Jove continues to maintain his lead here with McBain. Going to be a wily opponent. He's going for another Stukas here, more rockets into which to try and silence McBain's artillery and possibly any other troops. At this stage, I think McBain needs to consider bringing up more armor before it's too late. And try and strike back at Jove harder because more time just gives him terrain in place, and the faster they're going to go, and at which point McBain's going to be lacking stuff. And there you go. Second more time placing down to him just with the buffers now. He started with the buffers, he ends with the buffers, it seems like. Stukas of his number 2 almost down there for Jove. For the 9th Panzer Division. Panther sitting out there, halfway to veteran fleet. King Tiger moving ahead, directly here by the Churchill on it. Directly on the Firefly, closing on veteran fleet on the Panther. McBain falls in, could be in a bad spot, and there you go, almost got it, almost got it. King Tiger, the 6-pounder gun opening up. Mine went off there, almost taking out the Churchill tank. But Panther's taking heavy damage here from the 6-pounder gun, the Firefly. Sappers being slaughtered. Panther there hits veteran fleet and then explodes. The mission's cooked off there by a well-placed 6-pounder gun hit on it, leaving him still with veteran 1 Churchill and an ace Firefly. Whereas Jove now is just the King Tiger. He's going to replace his losses fast. We'll have to see what he replaces with. The Stukas has just arrived. He might have to just go for the Yak Panzer. King Tiger's going to try and take out that Churchill tank. McBain thought he was safe, but no one is safe from Jove. Got the centre victory point, losing the southern one, regaining it, and he's lost the north here to McBain, whose Bullforce is hammering away there. 5 kills so far. Sturmpart trying to do the section here, backed up by another Jaeger squad. Churchill tank number 2 halfway done for McBain. Jove will have to see what he ends up with. King Tiger rolling back for repairs close to veteran 2-1. We got 295, this is 221. Second Churchill is almost ready. Both of these not really doing much now anymore from McBain, except for running a bit of movement here from Joe, but that's about it. There you go, second Churchill infantry tank out here for McBain, ready to roll over the Hun terminally. Six-pounder gun section thing back together because they're sitting up sadly in the wrong direction there for McBain, but great for Jove. Could Father Stukas was I think along this axis maybe. Love if he does that. But it would be I think a good chance to take out the machine gun then possibly a section on anti-tank gun, so but so far the Stukas remains well doing not a lot there for Jove. And of course as soon as I look away, fires slightly again here, and there you go. Ooh, didn't actually do as much as hoped there. I mean he did some damage to the Vickers, to the tank gun and to the buffers, but nothing really crucial, nothing that's really critically damages or removes them from the field. So that could have gone a bit better there for Joe, but at least I guess he tried. Grabbing the northern victory point back here for King and Country, down to 295, there's 172. So McBain is starting to catch up with Joe here, who's proving to be quite good at controlling the map here against McBain and his SimCity. Excellent play there by Joe for sure. 6-pounder gun caught in the centre by the King Tiger. There you go, we got Churchill tank flanking it, Firefly Ace opening up from the front. And the Jaeger's backing up the King Tiger, quickly suppressed here, leaving Jove in a bit of a precarious spot, forcing the King Tiger to roll back for now. King Tiger down to less than half health. Churchill is doing a lot of damage here. Firefly's ultimate to back up, plus the 6-gun gun. Got a sapper section there somewhere, I think, here. And there you go, Stuka in for half track. Searchlight are out. King Tiger down to less than half health. What will McBain go for next? He's got fuel, he's got manpower. Will it be Centaurs? Will it be more Churchills? Will it be Cromwells? What will McBain go for? Forces that Panzerfaust and the Churchill tank, damaging his engine. Nice work there. Still, Jove is on the defensive as McBain strikes back furiously. A lot of manpower being thrown there, but Jove again, really, I think she can be spending a bit more on something like support weapons, maybe here and there. 6-point gun recruit here by Jove under McBain's nose. We got the Buffaloes coming up there, and will threaten to take out the entertainment crew there if, oh, not careful. So there you go, another Churchill tank here for McBain. He clearly loves those big British infantry tanks, and he cannot lie. Two kills. We got 2 kills on that one as well. Back here, healing reinforcement going on for Jove. Jaeger saying Norfolk with physical support. You know what? What will Jove do to replace that one? And he calls in more Jaegers. Since, well, he lost Jaegers. King Tiger on the move here. Church with the damaged engine ship. Easy prey here for the Koenigsegger. Veterans won 7 kills. Seaman. There you go. Direct hit on the Churchill tank. Its armor failing to withstand the mighty blows of the Koenigsegger's 88mm shells. And there you go. Another penetrating hit. Churchill tank deploying the smoke in a desperate bid to avoid total annihilation at the hands of the King Tiger. But sadly, there is no mercy, no sanctuary from the 88mm armor-piercing round. There we go. Churchill taking 3 out there from McBain. The 2 previous ones have so far met a untimely demise at the hands of Jove and the German army.
An emplacement is being attacked.
We got 8 kills from the King Tiger, halfway to 72. Stukas was firing again. And only managed to fire 1 rocket before he had to reposition due to the counter-artillery fire there from McBain. Joe going for another try. That's going to be another sharp punted quarter, indicating he wants either Orbital Darden or something else from it. Maybe another Panther, maybe a Yak Panzer, maybe a Panther 4. But he's clearly intending he wants to bring up more armor to back up his King Tiger, which is definitely a very good idea for Jove. All 3 active points now under control, or almost all 3, except for the northern one here under control of McBain. Nice move there by McBain, trying to regain control, though he's at 164 versus Jove's 270. Certainly a bit of a difference there between the 2 players. And it's going to take some time at this pace for McBain to really catch up with Jove again. Truck number something out there for Jove.
Enemy causing trouble. Trying to take
Troops are routing. Was there a quick sprint there from the Jaegers? Yes, indeed, to quickly get to the victory point. Nice work there by Jove. King Tiger Norfolks with Ikemen for screening the flank. Very nice work there to at least prevent any sort of naughty business there. Section exceeds the northern victory point. Back here, troops reinforcing. Jove there at 900 manpower. Could still, I think, benefit from a bit of more infantry or something else. So firing down, they take out the line from the gun. Fair punted quarters halfway down there for Jove, and up north, King Tiger there continues his advance, its pursuit here of McBain's forces, looking to snuff out as many as possible, as violently as possible. Churchill tank moving through the centre. John Pioneers from Piet's firing away there. Shot bounced. King Tiger rolling back, halfway to Vixen, 2 artillery firing down here. Light damage happening to the Churchill tank, but so far nothing critical there from McBain, though he's still wisely pulling it back, I think. Also worth noting he does have now precision balance. He can call in he wants to versus Joe, but so far has not shown any signs of it. Not really, there's a lot of targets as such that could easily be called in on. Sabs are getting blasted by the King Tiger. Jove go for next? I mean, he's got some pop cap there to go. He could consider also done another line gun or something else. They're just going from the south between the Jaegers and the section, noting no grenades from McBain, though I think he'd also easily gone for that, and I'm guessing he's going to go for another Churchill tank in the near future. So he clearly likes those a lot. Oh, barrage in around the centre, did some damage to the support, nothing crucial there. Spot force remains as it is. Attracting a lot of firepower, but not really dealing a lot in there. And there you go, another Churchill tank from McBain. He is a big fan. Folks, the rest of the Churchill out in the opening, losing half the unit there as the Churchill operator reaches them. And there you go, Panzerfaust failing to damage the engine of the Churchill tank. Bit of bad luck there for Joe, but great for McBain. And for the half-tack standing about, and there you go, Churchill halfway down there for McBain and the 51st Infantry Division. Continuing to man the lines against the Huns. Ruthless assaults. Troops reinforcing back here, and at south, good push in there. We got the Churchill on the Volkskanalise, leaning a bit stuck there. There you go, big push into the centre here by Jove with the King Tide, the Sturmpanies, and like Kednefer. There you go, straight into the Firefly against still ace level and the 6-pounder gun. Quick combat blitz to get out of line of fire. That one, very good idea there. This is King Tiger, and just 4 shots went down to less than half health. To the firing down like Kevin, they're caught here on the flank by the Churchill tank. We're down to 241, that's 142. Same numbers used. Oh, no longer the same numbers used. There you go, 241, that's 140. Churchill level damaged engine. 139, going up for the Sturmpanies and centre home to buy more time. Okay, so just bleed out. McBain, more grenades going off here. Sadly, didn't do much there. Oh, he wiped the sappers with his own Churchill. That's a bit unfortunate there for McBain, but I guess a bit of nice luck there for Jove. And we finally got a Jagdpanzer for Jove. I would have figured it sooner, but still, better late than never.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our
Better late than never.
Emplacements under attack.
We got 241 to 131, and McBain is steadily bleeding out. Still here in the south, we got Football, there's the section here. Bren Guns and Piets filling to snuff out the German defenders anytime. Moving up here, could take on the Panzer Corps. Don't think it is destroyed before the Jagdpanzer arrives, though. Do not think that is quite possible. We should probably pull that one back for repairs, though. I do not think it's going to make any good headway versus Joe with a damaged engine. Jagdpanzer's almost down there for Jove. Got Churchill Town from the north, one here in the centre, though, is taking a lot of damage here from McKenna for King Tiger. Definitely mistake, I think, there by McBain to send the heavily damaged Churchill. Might be a sense of desperation there versus Joe. There you go to the firing down, taking out Kednefer. And looks like, oh, the Churchill almost made it. And there you go, King Tiger taking heavy damage from the artillery. Churchill tank number 2 flanking up behind it. This is really bad here for Jove, actually. Churchill's going to prevent the Kings from getting out, and the Ace Firefly is just going to tear through the armour like a hot knife through butter. And there we go, King Tiger signs on, got the Jagdpanzer now versus the Churchill and the Firefly. On the other hand, McBain's forces have suffered in terms of the infantry. Still, I mean, right now, at most, what Jove can do is just go for a lot of infantry trying to get back onto the field. I mean, Jove doesn't have a lot of emplacements, so more infantry should work out for Jove. Jagdpanzer this hammering right at the Churchill. It's high velocity, center from the gun moving in there. Fireflies are in pursuit. He might have to switch over to deal with that one and hope he doesn't lose the Jagdpanzer. Firefly moving in there. Go direct hit on the Firefly. Piers joining in as well. Sturmpanies doing what they can. Jaegers moving up here. Will we see more Jaegers orbs on here for Joe? We'll have to see. Up north here, Churchill laying down smoke screen. We got 228 versus 118. Another Stugas was down there. Section almost wiped out here outside the base. There you go, small victory there for Joe. McBain is bleeding out. Joe still has a reasonable amount of infantry, though of course he could begin quickly pumping out a lot of infantry, like Obersoldat and Jaegers, Volkskanalise, all at the same time, which I don't think necessarily would be a bad idea, since it's going to just mean more presence now versus McBain, and I think that's what Joe kind of wants. Churchill there trying to limp away, but Joe's having none of it. He's quickly dispatching his Jagdpanzer despite not being fully repaired, prioritising taking out the Churchill and moving up threat to his infantry, or one of the few remaining threats to his infantry. Jagdpanzer shoots with the second shot, misses. Firefly moving up here, Fox is moving in. There we go, direct hit by the Firefly on the Jagdpanzer. Both for sending away there. 8 kills for the need to retreat. Panther fast off on the Firefly. Latin or infrared half of this being repaired. Firefly continues there. Go direct hit. Almost takes out the half track in one shot there with the 17-pounder gun. And there you go. A bit of Piet hits there on the Firefly. Intense action now suddenly happening a bit more here. As with most of the emplacements gone again, there's more room to Jove to be aggressive versus his opponent, though he's still, I think, flooding a bit too much manpower at this stage. I mean, you can understand again why he doesn't just spam infantry versus, Buffers and double mortars, but I know we kind of hit in the spot we could, I think, just get away with at least a bit more infantry on the field versus his opponent, at least, something else with the manpower. Though, of course, part of it's just also the Orbital Commander doesn't have cash to count with anything with spam manpower when he doesn't even say you just want to spam infantry. The Yak Panzer there fixed up for Jove. Again. Jaegers there trying to defend. Got both victory points in the north and south and centre. So 3 actually. 109 versus 160. Still pretty reasonably close between the two sides. But Jove remains in the lead here over McBain. Landfree gun there abandoned. The crew splattered across the ground. Baker setting up. And a Cromwell tank here from McBain. Jove could go for a Panther 4, go for a Panther, go for another Yak Panzer. Sturm Panzer out with a Piet, which bounces off the Firefly's armour. Yak Panzer lands a nice hit, and there you go, Veterans 1 gained. Churchill's main gun is still out, and the Yak Panzer's going to try and take it out, I guess. Artillery called in as well. Oh, where? Around the Churchill's area. Not really doing a lot in that sense, but I guess it encourages McBain to get his troops out of there. Yak Panzer misses again. Cromwell was done. He had shot their fire. Misses. Another hit there. Close to Veteran 2 on that Churchill tank, but likely will get there. And there goes Sturmpanier, assaulted once more by the Buffers. Buffers is going to be quite an obstacle there for Jove. And Germany. Now using the Yak Panzer and the 6-pounder gun is still here from McBain to try and ruin it. Very good idea there. Fire coming up though. Great hit on the Yak Panzer again from the Ace tank destroyer, but we'll try and hit it from the 6-pounder gun and the Yak Panzer. Cromwell rushing 40 under fire from the German anti-tank guns and tank destroyers. Cromwell, bit of health shaved off, but not a lot. Wiped him in the centre, leaving him short one section further. Yeah, at 154 versus 77. And there you go, another Panther for Jove, another Panther for Deutschland. Cromwell moving up and dealing with the infantry by the north. Centre victory point being C6 gun moving in there. Churchill tank is not really cheating much, it's just firing its machine gun. So he could at least maybe crawl up with a grenade, but of course at the same time he risks exposing the Churchill and just getting shot at by whatever else Jove has. Yak Panzer halfway fixed up. Does he pop the grenade? We got 74 points left here for McBain. 6-pounder gun lands nice, hit it through the side armour of the Churchill tank. Grenade off there. Churchill though finally bites a dozen. There you go, Firefly moving in to try and take out the infrared half track. Can he get it this time though with it? And there you go, the Firefly gets the infrared half track. There you go, Yak Panzer again, 22 gets a nice penetrating hit here on the Yak Panzer. 6-pounder gun setting up. Down to half health Piet, they're opening up as well, doing a bit more damage. 6-pounder gun setting up, another hit on the Yak Panzer. 6-pounder gun returning the hit favor, and Yak Panzer hits wreckage instead and loses the main gun until he called in. He gets the Yak Panzer over the 6-pounder gun. Artillery fire raining down. McBain saturating the area with brutal artillery fire. Jaegers flanking up here. 50 points left in McBain. Northern point secured here by Jove's infantry. Panthering through the centre. Pinball machine being added. Very good. Sappers routed. 1 Cromwell left now. Plus the Buffers and a few Pierce. There you go. Sappers watch. McBain is rapidly bleeding out here. In the face of Jove, who has managed to destroy the Sim City. More or less. And thus leave McBain a much more vulnerable person. Even then it was a bit close at times. Yak Panzer there, half each eventually free. Jaegers are taking heavy hits, getting a direct hit on the Cromwell there with the Panther. 40 versus 151. Another Cromwell away from McBain. Yak Panzer is good to go for Deutschland. Southern victory point being seized. We got 37 versus 151. Samples on the way there from McBain. Jove could still, I think, add some opposite on more Jaegers just to help in defense, say, the Southern victory point, which is right now being seized by McBain. Samples in the center being destroyed here by Jove's attack. And up north, Prom rushing in there, pushing away the Jaegers. Baker's covering up. Stion Party setting up 4 levels of efficiency, 11 kills. In the south here, section was the Panther. 1 Piet versus the Panther and its machine guns. I think that is safely won there by Joe. We got 34 versus 151. Panther fast in the Cromwell. Yak comes lands a nice hit there. Section made on healthy, and there you go, routed. 34 versus 151, almost got the center one. We got the Savage rushing forward, back up the machine gun. Yak Panther under fire from the buffalo, but it doesn't matter. Yak Panther shoots back, misses though, but still will likely end up destroying McBain's buffaloes here, ending the Swedish reign of terror here around the center. Almost got it. We got the Cromwell rushing in to try and flank it. Good work there by McBain, but Jove is fast enough here to outmaneuver it. There we go. Panther fast follow up here, quickly leaving the Cromwell dead in the water against Jove's tank destroyer, which is about to hit Betson and flee, which is really bad news for McBain's armor, or whatever's left. 27 versus 151, approaching an hour-long match, by the way. There you go. Almost got the other Cromwell as well. There you go. Veteran 3. Yak Panzer. There we go. Snuffed out 1 Cromwell, going for the center victory point. We're down to 23 versus 151. Misses the Cromwell there, gets a bit too eager, but I'm making the second shot will follow up and coat it out of its misery. Being McBain now with a scattering of infantry and the buff horse and a Vickers machine gun. And there you go. Game over. GG. 57 minutes. A brutal slug out here on Holotny Farmer, showing how nasty the SimCity can be, but also can play around. In this case, though, Joe made good use of the map to basically sort of try and stay at the edge of it, slowly trying to whittle it down while dealing with McBain and just splitting out victory points, forcing McBain to attack out of his comfort zone, and that will slowly build up. So nice play there by Jove. There's a not exactly a wildly exciting strategy, but I feel like there might be a bit more into how it can be dealt with for those who struggle versus the strategy. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thanks for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.